Hello everyone, and welcome. I don't know if you heard that, but oh well. Regardless, yesterday I saw, with Halloween being tomorrow, and well, yesterday, oh goddamn chair's being moved. Yesterday I got to see the movie Ouija 2. Now, I forgot if I reviewed the first Ouija film, but I remember watching it recently, within like the last week or two ago. Yeah, it's a really shitty movie, to say the least. Now, if you know me, I love horror movies. I love the thrill, I love the shock, I love the tension that it creates and how scary and monumental it can get, mentally or physically. So yeah, I love horror movies, and they're among my personal favorite genres out there. So yeah, first Ouija film is horrible. It's one of the worst horror movies in recent years. So when this movie was coming around, a lot of us were like, oh, really? Okay, this is going to be just as bad as the first, right? And I'm going to say that this is a pretty damn good sequel. Now, I don't consider it like on par with like Wes Craven's New Nightmare or 28 Weeks Later or Scream 2, which I think are the three best horror movie sequels, in my opinion. But regardless, yeah, I think this is a really good sequel. And what is essentially the story about Ouija 2 is that it's a sequel, but yeah, it's kind of like a prequel of the first Ouija film, which in this movie takes place in 1960s in the Los Angeles area, and this family who's like, which is really not really the best family. Like they're very much like con artists. They lie and steal the people, and well, you know, they're just not really that good at people. However, one day, and there's like this mother and her children, and yet the family is still kind of like, you know, processing that recent tragedy that happened to them. So yeah, that's it. I love all my movies lined up here. That's so cool. So yeah, and recently, like, you know, the tragedy in the family happened, and what essentially happens, I think it's like the mom or the old, I forgot now. I think it's the oldest daughter who brings home. No, it's the mom. It's the mom who brings home a Ouija board, and they're like, oh boy, okay, let's work this out. Maybe if there is one or not. And within this, you know, something happens, of course, because it's a horror movie. And yeah, I'm gonna say it was a real surprise to see how, in my opinion, how legitimately good, scary, and well done this movie was. First things first, the cast is great. This is not really a cast I may know, but all the kids who play in this movie are really, really good. The mom is really good, who's played by Elizabeth Razor, and this priest who comes in, who's played by Henry Thomas, is actually surprisingly great. Seriously, the acting is really solid, and I found myself like actually genuinely believing these characters and actually kind of rooting for them, and I wanted to see what would happen to them. And to mention, I love how well crafted this movie was. It was a lot more subtle and a lot more mental for the characters to go through. Instead of like just jump scares and them cheaping us out on some lame effects or bad scares, at least. It actually felt like it knew the audience, and knew the audience, understood them, and respected their knowledge of horror films, and it made the film that much more tension filled and that much more well focused, not just on the scares, but how the scares added to the story and the film, and just how unrelenting and scary and unpredictable it is. And when it does get you, it is legitimately good scares, and it gets under your skin, and it, like I said, it adds to the film. It kind of reminds me of Insidious, where all the scares really do feel like they have a legitimacy to be there, and they're very well done, for the record, and I love how that's kind of processed in the film. So yeah, for me, that was all really good. The acting is really good, and the writing is solid, in my opinion. I'm genuinely surprised by how good the writing was. Like I said before, I do care about these characters. I care what's going on. I even care for the preacher who comes in, who tries to help the family out, and seeing how that goes, and seeing the trials and the in and outs of how this family works, and how in this stressful time that they're in, and how they're still dealing with emotional roller coasters that they're going through in the movie. So I really did find myself legitimately actually caring and liking the characters. And at this point, I'm like, oh, I'm actually really enjoying this film. And you know what? Does it really feel, well, I will say, it doesn't feel disposable, at least. It feels a bit stock at times. Like, you know, the story isn't really revolutionary. It's not interesting in this. I'm not saying it's not interesting, but what I'm saying is that, at least in my view, it's just, it seems kind of, the story at least, it feels kind of been there, done that. But then again, Doctor Strange is just getting those type of reviews recently, so I'm still really hopeful for that. So yeah, I'm so far so good. I'm really enjoying this film. There's a couple of slow moments I will admit, and there's a certain portion of the film, like near the third act, where it kind of dips in storytelling and for what's going on, and feels like there's not much stress or tension that was going on for a good like 10-15 minutes. But as soon as that switches around, as long as the moment that happens, it switches it around, puts it on its head, and gives you just enough terror and shock that keeps you on edge until the very end. And the ending, well, I'll talk about that in a moment. Well, not to give away too much spoilers, really. So yes, that little tip of quality there at point, I'm like, yeah. And another thing I have to say is that there's a moment where they do use CG at a certain point, and it's pretty bad. However, I will say the direction and the focus and the way it's shot is very good. And I like the way it was shot. The director of this is Mike Flannigan, who's also directed Oculus, and I really like Oculus a lot. And that was a really smart movie in my opinion. So yeah, this director I really do like a lot. Holy shit. Fucking chairs. I'm sorry. And I will say, the ending, it kind of seems a bit throwaway, and it feels like the most unoriginal, boring, and kind of like I felt a betrayal of what was before all that. The end, it felt authentic, it felt genuine, it felt really interesting. The ending, while not a cop-out, it feels very much played out for safe, and it feels kind of like, oh, of course. It's kind of predictable, and it's a very, like I said, it's a very safe ending for a horror movie. And we've seen that before, and to be very honest, as good as this movie was, at the very end of it all, I found, well, it was technically good. I just found myself not really caring that much at times, and while I will say it's an admirable, good, well-made film, for me at least, it's like, is there anything here that I am over the moon about? Is there anything I am like, yes, this is one of my favorite horror movies in recent memory, like VHS 2, Insidious, Paranormal Activity 3, Cabin in the Woods, like all these new horror movies up to 2010s. And while this is a good one, it's not one of my top 3 or 4 favorites. So yeah, in the end, Ouija 2, you surprised me, and I'm legitimately going to say it's a real, interesting, unique, authentic horror movie sequel that I genuinely did not find, that I found genuinely surprising and actually good and smart. So in the end, I'm going to give Ouija Origin of Evil an 81%. And maybe a little bit lower than what other people are saying, but it's still a solid, good movie, and I would highly recommend it for anyone who's a horror fan. If you're a film fan, well, I don't know for you, if you love horror movies or not, but if you like horror movies to a certain degree, then I would greatly recommend this movie for anyone who likes horror movies, regardless of what kind of scale. If you like them, fine. I think you'll appreciate the art and the craft and the maturity of this sequel. Seriously, this sequel is one of the biggest surprises of the year, in my opinion. bar none. And yeah, that's my review of this movie. And yeah, tomorrow I'll have my review. Not really my review, but my Halloween recommendations for tomorrow. So yeah, until then, everyone. See you tomorrow on Halloween. Till then, stay scared. Stay scared, my friends.